Keep
I'll
it
be pixelated.
You gotta keep it pixelated. Oh, we're
I'm
hi.
pixelated.
Hi guys, welcome. We are Own Your Life. I'm Coach K,
Coach Fritz.
and we have a super special guest. I can't wait. He is popping on here in a minute. Dan Newberry.
Absolutely.
He is fantastic, veteran advocate, and works really closely with Lift for the 22. So we're going to have him on here in just a minute. We just want to find out how you guys are doing.
Yeah, put it in the comments. What's going on? How are you guys doing?
It's Thursday.
Summer's coming to a close, and it doesn't even feel like we had summer because summer was canceled.
Because spring was canceled.
Well,
part of summer's canceled. Actually, yeah, he's absolutely right.
It's a wild time in life right now. And are you taking advantage of that, or are you just kind of sitting idly by?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this before, and it's not too late to take advantage of it. It's not too late to start something. It's not too late to figure stuff out. I mean, people definitely
are. The innovators of the world are being seen right now, and I would say that we're two of those innovators. We took something we thought would be awesome, put it in a classroom, and then COVID, and here we are. So I'm going to bring on Dan because he is waiting in the background. What's up, Dan?
What's going on? How's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, good deal.
How's your day been?
Busy day.
Yeah, you've been on more than one of these today.
Yeah. I had a meeting with the state this morning, and so yeah.
Okay, so we were just kind of getting ready to go over what we talked about on Monday, and which aligns perfectly with you. So on was it Monday or Tuesday? It was Monday. Look, I don't even know what day we're on. We're on Thursday, right?
It's Thursday.
It was Tuesday. Okay, now it's Thursday. We took a little break. Okay, so on Tuesday, we talked about we talked about just the transparency of why Fritz and I are so passionate about Own Your Life and what we're doing and what we're talking about. And the three of us had talked back in March when COVID hit about the need for more people to be innovative, the more people we need creating programs to help people coach others out of whatever situation that they're in. And for Fritz and I, myself being a veteran, Fritz being semi-pro football, we have a little bit of coaching life behind us where we've been introduced to that, but I've also been the veteran in transition that ended up homeless with a child and totally lost my way. Didn't know who to reach out to, who to call, and I had to rely a lot on myself and little resources. As you know, Dan, but most of the audience knows too that I was the executive director for a nonprofit that helped veterans, and our primary focus was veteran suicide. And so on Tuesday, we talked about transparency and really just being okay coming and being coached. It's okay to reach out. It's okay to send an email. It's okay to say that I'm not okay. And I think that we can all agree right now with COVID, especially, it's making us feel like we're separated even more. And veterans, especially, we get pretty pissed off about not being able to do certain things or having to do certain things. So with that being said, we thought it was really important that we have Dan on with us to be able to talk about Lift for the 22 and how that is important to his life and the coaching piece, because we know we see you on stage, we see you talking to so many people, and we want to give other people a different perspective from your eyes and why our coaching is so important.
Yeah, I think part of my day-to-day is coaching people. I spend most of my days coaching people and how to start a business and empower them to become an entrepreneur and do a little bit more with their lives. And the thing is, you can't do things alone. You can't achieve goals alone. You can't you just can't move forward. And the thing is I kind of look back to my own experience in when I first got out of the military. I was kind of stuck in this mindset that I knew everything. The Army taught me everything I needed to know, and I felt like I was kind of entitled to all these like wonderful things. But that's not the case, right?
Right.
The reality of it is the more that you're able to be transparent and open and willing to learn and seek to understand instead of be understood, the more successful you're going to be. That's all part of growing. That's all part of growing as a person and as a professional. So serving your country is a wonderful thing. Being a veteran is something to be proud of. You're less than 1% of the country, but that doesn't mean that you couldn't use some extra coaching, okay? Because there's so many things that you don't get to experience when you're in the service to when you do get out of the service, right? The
Right.
military, it creates a very dependent society. I look at when I got out, I didn't have any idea how to, pick a doctor or, what 80/20 meant and health insurance. So there's so many things that you just don't know. And it's to no fault of your own. But you have to be prepared to kind of let that pride go, open up a little bit, and be realistic and have realistic expectations.
Right. We're coming across a lot of people now that are retiring after, some are medically retiring, so they're pretty young, just coming out of combat situations, and other ones are retiring after 27 to 35 years of being in the military, which, I got out after 5 years active, and now I'm back in the National Guard, and I see it even more now, I think, because I'm dealing with an older generation. I'm dealing with people that are my age, but they're older in the military. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of active duty time, and then they go into the National Guard, and then it's a totally different beast. But their ability to connect when they get out is just like what you said, Dan. We're taught these skills that we can rule the world. Like we can walk into a room and own it. And that's all good and fine, mostly when you're dealing with, that A-type personality or people that have been in the military, they get you. But, to walk out and do that in a normal, regular situation in a civilian society is not always accepted. And we can come across as, some people might say, arrogant, a little full of ourselves, and that's really not the case. We walk in with confidence and we're ready to kind of tackle anything that's put in front of us. So that kind of what you dealt with too when you got out was, I'm here to run this place, let me in.
Yeah. And then, on the flip side of that, you have this pride and you have this like grit that you want to go and do something successful. But what I have found is a lot in our demographic is when things don't necessarily go our way, we just get all upset and it becomes like this woe is me story. And this is speaking from experience, for example, I remember when I got out, and I thought, because I went through the transitional program in the military, I thought with all my combat experience and having all these awards and accolades and things, and rank, I thought that I was going to go get like a big paying job right out the gate. Well, that was not what happened. I ended up unemployed. I ended up almost homeless. I ended up getting a job for like $10.50 an hour to pick up dead people. You know what I mean? So that wasn't the reality. And what happened was I fell into this crazy depression because things weren't going my way. And then I just noticed that as an individual, I was like, well, I'm a veteran. I served my country. How come, these good things aren't coming my way? And I got to tell you, from being a director of a nonprofit, I see that all the time. There's going to be, things aren't going to go to plan when you get out of the service. And your pride is your biggest weakness. You have to be able to let that go. You have to let it go. And you have to understand that you're no longer in the military. And the military is not responsible for what you do with your future. You're responsible for what you do with your future. And it's up to you to make those decisions to be successful.
I love that truth, because in our program, that's like the main thing we teach is the truth will set you free. And no matter how cliche it sounds, until you get to that truth, you can't go anywhere. You're stuck. And when we uncover that, then we get to see the aha moment of our clients and they figure it out. And then growth really happens after they find their truth. Because really, once you find that, now you're making a conscious decision to go against the truth that you already know what it will do, as opposed to the consequences of doing something that shouldn't be done to going and living the life you really want to have and deserve and you can have, but you got to face that truth. If you can't get to that truth or you're afraid of that truth, you're just stuck in a rut.
Right.
You know,
Right. And a lot of it is go ahead.
no, you're okay, Dan. There was just a little bit of a delay.
Oh, okay. No, and a lot of it is, it is great. Like I was saying earlier, it's great to be I'm a vet. I'm proud to be a veteran. I'm proud of my service. I love the guys I serve with. But when I was stuck in my rut in July 2015, and I had an individual say, he was a police officer. He said to me, he's like, you know what, Dan, you're worth more than the uniform you wore yesterday. So, and I took that as yes, I served. It's an experience that I had, but I could take those tools and those skills that I got from the military, apply them to my future. And yes, I'm a veteran, but that's not all I am. I'm more than that. I can do more than that. That's not going to be the best years of my life, especially at 32 years old, 33 years old. I'm 36 now, and I'm finally realizing that, So it doesn't have to be your label for your entire life. That's not going to be all that you do.
Right.
Well said.
I actually wrote that down. That was really, and I can see how that impacted you, and it probably set you on a different direction.
Yeah, it absolutely did. Because that day when that happened, I was sitting on my kitchen floor, intoxicated, about to take a bunch of pills and end my life. So I think everybody has a turning point, and that was mine. You know what I mean? I was surrounded by people that weren't nourishing me. They weren't, pushing me to do better, to be better. I was just in this weird position for about 3 years when I was getting out. And it was that moment, it was what he said to me that made me really rethink what I was doing and my thought process. Mm-hmm. And it all started with changing habits. You've got to change habits, and that's the biggest thing. It's what are your daily habits? What do they look like? How are you adding value to your life every single day? Who are you networking with? Who are you talking to? You got to add value.
Yeah, and we do hit on that one immediately right out of the gate with our new clients is what are your rituals? What are you doing in the morning? What are you doing at night?
Mm-hmm.
And then understanding that the 5 people that hang around you are who you're going to become. And you attract kind of what you're going through, right? Misery loves company.
1000%. I remember. So here's the deal. Like I started getting my act together. Really, it was the gym that kind of got me. Everyone's got their own thing that they've used to fill their tank. And at the time, mine was physical fitness, hence 22 Fitness and Lift for the 22. But it was really like I was using that time to kind of just think, rebuild my self-confidence. And I started to realize that, okay, if I can put all this work into the gym, I can put all this work into myself, spiritually, educationally, I could apply myself in so many other ways than just in the gym. And that's what happened. I think there's just something about making sure that you're always doing something positive every day. And I know you hear social media influencers stuff, all their positive jazz and all this and that. And some of them are full of it. But look, truth of it is, if you're not doing things to add value every day, then you're going to stay in the same position. You're going to keep going in circles.
Absolutely. Well, I have to pause and say that I absolutely love your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Shirt.
So I am a victim of the COVID-19.
19 pounds?
Yeah, I got chunky, but it was a good break. I actually enjoyed being able to there's a silver lining in all of that quarantine.
There is.
I was able to kind of just chill out. I've been going 1,000 miles an hour for the last 3 years, and COVID-19 hit, and I was like, man, I'm gonna take a seat. I'm gonna sip some good bourbon, and I'm gonna eat some tacos.
Oh my God. Okay, so. And the reason we look at each other is because that is verbatim exactly what I have said since I gave up my crown as Mrs. Wisconsin. I resigned as the executive director for Salute the Troops. Pretty much all at the same time. And then COVID hit and it closed my coffee house down for 2 months. And so in January, Fritz and I had started Own Your Life, and we were doing classroom sessions. And as soon as everything shut down, I sat for 2 days and stared at the wall because I had gone 5,000 miles an hour for 3 years being a veteran advocate, constantly pouring out myself. I never took a break. It was always me. I was always there. I was at every event, every parade, every fair. I was a guest speaker all over the state, and I did it for everybody else. I really, really did, because I don't know that I could have pushed that hard for myself at the time. But to stop, right? That momentum still goes. That energy is still flowing. So when you sit still for a second, it was heavy. Like, it was hard for me, even in coaching, as we had just started. Now I was reverting back to, did I fail at something? What's my identity? Like, my identity has been Kim Galsky, executive director, Mrs. Wisconsin, for 3 years. So now now I'm just Kim.
Well, you're not just
So
Kim.
I know, but that's the mental struggle. Like,
Right.
we're not.
Well, and that's what most people struggle with, which is why we teach what we teach.
And that's why, Dan, that's why you're involved, because we are just as normal as everybody else. Well, normal. I don't know if I'm completely.
Yeah.
One of us. Normal.
Yeah. I agree. It's exhausting sometimes, because especially if you're an advocate for anything, right? So I'm a huge advocate in the mental health space. And what often people don't realize is I got my own battles going on. And I see a counselor. I openly admit I see a counselor every 2 weeks. I've got severe post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's really easy for me to fall into a depression. And needless to say, I'm a really good social distancer by trade. Like, I don't like people next to me anyways.
Yeah.
So, but it's daunting sometimes when you are in the thick of it and you're doing these events and you're advocating here, and then people are messaging you with all of their things and stuff like that. It's heavy, right? So
Yeah.
you're always under this heavy cloud of trying to care for others. And what happens is you stop caring for yourself. And, when that just stops out of nowhere, you kind of don't know what to do. You're like, okay, now what?
Now who do I take care of?
But and the silver lining in COVID, throughout the pandemic and the quarantine was, like I said, it allowed me to hit the reset button. I ended up quitting a job that I was not happy in. I ended up doing things that I haven't done for myself in a long time. I just took some time to take care of myself, enjoy some things that I really like to enjoy. I've spent how many years in the fitness industry, literally putting myself in a prison, eating the same food every day, doing the same routine every day. And I got to let that go, and it felt good. It felt great.
Yeah.
I'm probably, now I spend my days exactly how I want to spend my days, and that's coaching and mentoring other veterans that want to be successful. They're not, looking for handouts. They're not blaming everybody else. They're looking to be entrepreneurs. They're looking to win, and those are the type of individuals that I really enjoy getting to coach every single day.
Right. Can you tell us we've kind of danced around it, but we haven't really talked about Fit for the 22 or Lift for the 22. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, so Lift for the 22 is a nonprofit organization. It was founded by a gentleman named Carter Davis, and it was started in Oregon. And he ended up moving to Chicago. And at the time, I was running 22 Fitness, which is a free fitness class for the community. And obviously, there's synergy between Lift for the 22 and 22 Fit. So Lift for the 22, they're out there connecting with gyms. They're buying gym memberships for vets. And then I'm doing this free class for vets. Why don't we work together? So we ended up doing a tour last year, going all over the US, going to all these different gyms, doing a fundraiser at that gym, buying gym memberships at that gym, connecting veterans with valuable resources. So we would invite local nonprofits in the area and have them come, and we'd give them 5 minutes to talk about the services they offer. We would have the vet centers there. We'd have ASFP there. We'd have all these organizations that are geared towards helping the veteran community. So we are all geared up to do that again. This year, I had taken over as executive director, or I was appointed executive director. Carter had stepped down. He has went on to a new journey in life. He is now in the medical field. So, hats off to him.
Yeah.
So now we've kind of shifted our focus a little bit because of the pandemic. You know, we can't go on the tour. We can't go to all these gyms and do the things that we're doing without having to quarantine ourselves every time we travel. That just doesn't do anybody any good. So right now we're focusing on just doing the onesie and twosies gym memberships to individuals that reach out to us. We still provide them. It's still a thing we're doing. We did a big, huge COVID relief fund with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, which we end up donating funds to multiple local nonprofits. So yeah, and then I've got something else up my sleeve. I can't talk about it right now until until the ink is dry.
Did that.
He just threw that one out there.
Man, so you sound like us. We're always tossing something out there. Like
yeah, I think it's going to be a really unique experience for the community, and I'm kind of excited to bring it forward. But right now we're, you know, you're in the business planning phase, so that's always the tough part.
I get
we
that.
understand that.
You know, it's the hardest part is having something really epic and not being able to fully disclose what it is yet, because you got to make sure that everything is in line.
Right.
And we are like that too right now. We are like coming out of our skin with a couple things that we have going on that you will definitely hear about.
For sure.
So we're just going to leave it at that.
Outstanding.
So touche. Is there anything about that you need help with? I mean, if you could ask the audience, you know, is there a place to go? Where do you need assistance?
So right now, fundraising, we got Hertz. So that's why I've been pushing out a lot of new apparel. We're using that to raise funds because I get hit up, you know, every day by people that want gym memberships. And the truth of it is, we can't really afford them right now. So some gym memberships are like $1,200 annually. We only purchase them for a year. They're good for a year. Then after that, it's the veteran's responsibility. So Facebook fundraisers are a big deal for us. We've launched new apparel to try to raise more money. So we try to get at least 3 or 4 gym memberships purchased every month, though, to keep the mission going, to ensure people know, you know, what's going on. But the more funds we raise, the more we're able to do this next phase in our mission, which is going to be something that's going to welcome not just veterans, but everybody in the community. You don't have to be a vet to participate. This is a whole new thing we're getting into. It's a whole new venture we're getting into. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, please keep us in the loop. Let us know what's going on. And is there a website or anything anybody can go to?
Yeah, you can. The best way to communicate with us is Facebook. It's always monitored. So our Facebook page, Lift for the 22, or you can go to liftforthe22.org.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, let me tell you, as an executive director for a veteran nonprofit, thank you for everything that you do and continue to do, because it is not easy. And I want people to understand that it is absolutely the hardest job that we can do is advocate for veterans, because we are constantly educating the public, because there are truly people out there that don't understand what it's like to serve in the military. They don't understand the process. They have no idea what any kind of boot camp is, or what it's like to be thrown back out of something that you've lived in for 4+ years that has been, you know, so regimented, and always having that support system and always having the coach or mentor that's next to you can always ask a question, and to be thrown out into a new world that you don't understand sometimes is daunting. And that's why we have a suicide problem. So don't be afraid to ask people, and, you know, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call people like Dan, calling, you know, getting a hold of Lift for the 22, Salute the Troops. There's so many veteran organizations in this state that are ready to help at any given moment.
You know, and not only that, I'd like to highlight veteran-owned businesses, you know, especially here in the state of Wisconsin. You know, not a lot of people realize how many veteran-owned businesses there are. So in the state of Wisconsin, there is 11% of all of the businesses in the state of Wisconsin are veteran owned.
Yeah, there's about 65,000 veteran
Yep.
That's awesome.
businesses in the state of Wisconsin,
Yep.
and there's 500,000 veterans in the state of Wisconsin. I don't think a lot of people understand that either.
No. And so the veteran community, not only were we the backbone during wartime, but we're also the backbone of the economy. And I don't
That's
think
right.
a lot of people realize that. So 9% of all there's 31 million small businesses in the United States. 9% of those are veteran owned. Think of how many jobs that creates. So get out there, support your veteran owned businesses, support your veteran nonprofits,
Yep.
because they are providing jobs as well. So,
Right.
there's a lot to be said.
Awesome.
Yep.
We appreciate you, Dan. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Yes,
your
thank you.
service and sacrifice and what you continue to do. And hopefully we can have you on the show again.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. You too. Bye.
All right,
All right.
guys.
That was awesome.
That was amazing. And thank you again, Dan, for coming on and being a part of this. And, go to livefor22.org, find them on Facebook, follow them wherever they go.
Hey, and then you know what? Being where we're at with everything going on, if you come up with a creative idea or something that can help that organization out to raise funds to get memberships for vets,
yeah,
do not sit on it.
Yeah.
Reach out to them, let them know. I don't think there's going to be a dumb idea out there. I
No.
just throw it out there. Let's create an idea board. Let's just blast that Facebook page with
Yeah.
every idea you can think of to help that organization raise money to give to our vets so that we can get them gym memberships and get that whole Lift for the 22 program
Yeah.
and help it to do what it's designed to do.
Correct.
So participate with us,
Yeah.
help us out,
Yeah.
get on their page and do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right. Well, that was pretty damn good. So, hey, what are we doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Friday, so it's Anywhere Friday. I already know where we're going to be.
Well, we're going to be traveling. So
Yes,
stay
we are.
tuned.
Yeah, but where? And those of you that know,
Until tomorrow, guys.
love you guys.
Thank you.